Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes Report for the day of 854 for the 26th of June. Currently is on the 27th. The report is a little bit, actually quite late, because I was busy the entire freaking day. And yeah, and I was busy debugging my client's website and yeah, fighting virus. So at least I get it cleared. So now I can do the Frontline Changes Report for you guys. And so yeah, let's do the frontline changes. We'll talk more next time. Okay, so today Ukraine is winning. Over the past 24 hours, Ukraine have more frontline changes in their favor over the Russians, but the Russians also have pretty significant gains. So we have frontline changes over at Petropavlivka, Zagorokivka, Stemakivka, Andriivka, Terny, Yampolivka, Torske, Spurny, Vimka, Vasily, Yasnobrodivka, and Krasnohorivka. So it's a lot of frontline changes, which is why I didn't manage. I don't plan to put this as one entire sit rep. I think you guys will go crazy, or many people will just not want to click the video at the first place. So over at Petropavlivka, the Russian forces have, according to the Russian mapping, have extended basically next to the settlement itself. So this is Petropavlivka. This is actually an autobus, the Kupiansk autobus. This settlement is a very weird settlement. So the Russian forces at this near to this river system here, they have managed to seemingly capture the entire tree line around there, and they are going to start to attack into Petropavlivka proper. The settlement, I think the road ends here, so this is actually quite a very important frontline change, because it means the beginning of another battle. As you can see, the buildings are around here. There is some docks around here, very still a bit of distance. There's another small little house over there, or maybe there's a car. So the Russians are getting very close to the actual settlement of Petropavlivka. So the next frontline change is just nearby, over in the eastern part of it. Ukrainian forces geolocated in the tree line, confirming that they have actually managed to recapture certain grounds around here and invalidating some of the Russian claims over at this sector at Zagorokivka or Zagorokovka. A lot of different spelling of this for this location. So this is you can see pretty much equal in terms of the gains. The next frontline change is over at Stemakivka, south of this location. Over at Stemakivka, a massive frontline change around here, a very significant one. This is mapped by the Russian side. Based on the Russian mapping, Russian forces have made a significant advance in the area of Stemakivka, advancing entire front line towards this the river system. I believe this is Zerabets River. So, and this is the based on Russian claims. This is not corroborated by the Ukrainian side. And after Stemakivka, so this is very significant. I just want to say very significant. The next frontline change is south of this location, over Andriivka. So this is a massive correction of the front line. Based on Russian mapping, they have disclaimed the entire area here towards Vishnev, and also that in the disclaim, they basically also gave up Andriivka. So the front line is actually a lot closer to Zerenel. Yeah, I think that's how Zerenel. The Ukrainian front line looks like this. The Russian front line looks like this. So a little bit different in terms of the front line, but this correction is massive. So which corrects how our we will perceive the where the fighting is going to be. So it's going to be just next to Zerene, sorry, which actually corroborates some of the fighting being reported 2 months ago. So, and a major fighting continues to be at Andriivka. So this actually corroborates where it is. And you can see all these are all major frontline changes. So the next frontline change is just further south at Terny. So at Terny, you can see that there's a series of yellow boxes. So this is polygons. The Ukrainian forces have seemingly advanced based on various reports. So from at Terny, Yampolivka region, over at Toske region, all the way stretching towards Dibrova. This is not a measure of advance. The only advance that is being reported is at Terni. This is the part where Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian side, reported about this. The rest around here is actually correction. I think this one is also by Terni, also by Deep State, yeah. So, and the Yampolivka one, and this one, wrong color, this one, yeah. So the one below is just a correction of the front line based on the latest Russian mapping, but it also signifies significant Ukrainian advances over this area here. So over at Terni, Ukrainian forces have recaptured the entire of this region here. This is based on Ukrainian reports. So this is just Ukrainian claims that they have captured back most of this area here. This area have been subject of constant to and fro between the two sides. The Russians take it, then the Ukrainians take it back, the Russians take it, Ukrainians take it back. So this entire area has always been in this kind of status. So it's not surprising that on the eastern part of Terni, the Ukrainians have retaken huge parts of these grounds. And these advances also applies to further south at Yampolivka, with the Ukrainian forces attacking across the entire front line around here. So they gaining some grounds around here. But this is based on Ukrainian claims. This is not corroborated by the Russian side yet. And so further south, this is based around Toske region. This is based on Russian mapping. And in their mapping, the mapping shows that the Russians actually have different kind of front line. In fact, this is based on gray zone. The Russian gray zone is actually even more rear in terms of positioning. So which means that the Ukrainians, based on the differences, we still see Ukrainians taking some grounds for around this area in the northern part, and then also in this area at this corner over here. So the Ukrainians have also advanced, taken a bit more of this forest region. So this is quite a lot of frontline change, but it is good because we never had a very clear frontline sensing around this area here, and with this update from the Russian side, we can actually have a much better sense of where the front line is. So that's actually a very, very good change so for us. So that's all from this area here. The next frontline change after Toske is over at the Sivas front at Sperne. So we have a series in the south of the Sperne front, not of the Sivas front. Ukrainians have a update in this area here around Sperne. Russian forces expanded their control in their salient towards Vimka, and the Ukrainian mapping have conceded huge amount of grounds in the area of Vasily, confirming that the Russians indeed have taken the high ground north of Vasily. So this is all very significant changes as well. So over at Sperne region, we just have a slight change based on Ukrainian mapping. They claim a little bit of the tree line around here. There's a tree line here. So the Ukrainians claim this area here. So this is just a claim. The Russians have not acknowledged this. However, the Ukrainian mapping around towards Vimka, where this is Vimka, the Russians salient have expanded. So in this area here, the terrain is a bit different. You can see that there's actually a slight high ground around this area here, and the Russians have all the high ground in this area along the river. So they are expanding into this area, creating more buffer and a bigger area to build from. So this is this area here. Although the way it's drawn is a bit weird. I think this is the high ground, then this is the valley. Yeah, you don't need to use the brain, to do this reflection a bit. So anyway, whatever it is, on the macro scale, the Russians are building a bigger buffer zone for them to build up an offensive towards Vimka. The distance from Vimka to this salient is around almost 2 kilometers plus, so not very, very far. We can at my fittest time, I can run this distance in like less than 9 minutes. So yeah, it's not exactly that far, but of course I will be killed off by the sniper within the first 30 seconds. And over at the Vasily, near Rozdolivka, we have previously reported that the Russians have advanced along the high ground towards the north of Rozdolivka, and there is also another push in the south of this location. So and it was previously looking something like this. So now we have the Ukrainian mapping acknowledging that the Russians have captured and have the entire buffer around Vasily, and this area in the north is high ground. These are all high grounds around in the north, and the Russians have in fact successfully taken and secured Vasily now. And this is coming closer and closer to the Russian front line, which means that we will probably see the Ukrainian mapping slowly adjust the front line to show that this advance reported by the Russian side. And this is bad news for the Ukrainians. So despite I say that the Ukrainians are so-called winning, we can see that the Russians frontline changes are actually all very, very big and more significant, in fact, in my opinion. So but it's okay, let the pro-Ukrainians be happy. It's a real time that actually more frontline changes are in yellow than in red. So so Ukraine is winning right now. So the next frontline change after Vasily is over at Yasnobrodivka, over at the Adevka front. So over at the Yasnobrodivka, we have an update based on the geolocation along this lake, small little pond or lake region. Russian forces are conducting an attack, which means that the Russians have started to push towards Yasnobrodivka. There is not a lot of buildings around here, very, very few. So I think capturing just a few of these buildings, maybe this trench and this trench, you can actually claim that you have captured Yasnobrodivka pretty much. So you can see there's not really much. There's just a few mentions. Maybe Batman stay here, like this is the Batman mansion. So yeah, so maybe they captured this area. They can summon Batman into this area. So there was used to be a bigger village, because Yasnobrodivka is marked here. So maybe this entire area is supposed to be Yasnobrodivka, but life is hard. Batman has wasted all his wealth on useless gadgets. So that's all he has left now. And so that's all from Yasnobrodivka, the Russian advance starting to attack into Yasnobrodivka. And the last frontline change is over at the Donetsk front. Over at the Donetsk front, there is a small frontline change over at this area at Krasnohorivka. So Ukrainian mapping have shown that the Russian front line has straightened out, and this small little forest patch behind the residential building has been captured by the Russian side. Ukrainian side have a small frontline change around here. There is a geolocation showing Ukrainian forces at this building, while the Russians are conducting an assault with armored vehicles towards this position. So this is some shelling with Russian columns moving through Krasnohorivka. So Ukrainian forces are at this building, so which is why there's this frontline change. Very small tactical frontline change, but it is a frontline change nevertheless. So I think that's it. So these are all the frontline changes report. Who is winning? You can make your own decision. For me, I just see that on my list of the frontline change, it just look very yellow. So, but it is what it is. I will report the rest of the reports across multiple reports, and I'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's it. Do press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update. I'm Batman.